Hello and welcome in everyone to a new episode of Sunday Morning Quarterbacks. Obviously, last week took a quick impromptu week off, but we're back and we're here for the people. Obviously, a lot of interesting things took place last week during the NFL games. A lot of weird finishes. Um, I'm joined with my boy Spin Doc. Obviously, Rex will be in here soon or shortly, but we're back for a new week. How you feeling? How are things with you?
I am doing great. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Had an awesome kid-free day with the better half yesterday, so that was good. Baseball postseason, we've been absolutely destroying it. And yeah, going for 6 straight weeks of profit with NFL props. I'm 5 for 5, going for 6.
Let's go, man. Love to see it. Um, we can really just get into some of the lesser some of the some
Yeah,
of the I don't want to say lesser, but there's really no nice way for me to put it. Just some games that aren't as appealing to others.
yeah.
Um, where do you want to start? What game you want to start with?
It doesn't matter to me, honestly. You can start with
Start with the Jets. Start with the
Jets
Jets.
Packers. Yeah, Jets Packers is a fine place to start. You can probably you can go Jags Colts too, or no, we got Goose for that. Never mind.
Well,
Or
yeah. Let's go. Let's
go
go.
ahead.
Let's go. Jets Packers first. We'll start with Jets Packers.
Okay.
What do you like? And I mean, I personally believe that it's a Packers spot here. Personally, I think the Packers come out here and handle business, especially after such a poor showing in England. I know there's a lot of history behind the team that comes back from England with no bye week, so it's a very weird situation travel wise. But for me personally, I think it's a Green Bay spot, and I like the over 1.5 touchdowns from Aaron Rodgers. That'd be the only look that I really prefer in this one.
Yeah, I mean, for me, from a DFS perspective too, all things Brees Hall. The man has just completely taken over this backfield. I know that people on the other side might say, "Well, Michael Carter vultures goal line touchdowns," but you also have to remember that one of his touchdowns last week came after Brees had that like 90-yard reception and just missed getting in. So he had to come out for a quick breather. So, Hall's snap count has increased each week that he's been in the league. He is by far outplaying Carter right now. So really, it's only a matter of time. Carter's fantasy value and Carter's betting value right now is almost completely touchdown dependent. From the Green Bay perspective, from the Packers perspective, they rank a middling 17th for points allowed against running backs. They rank just right around there for run defense. The Saquon Barkley playing on an injured shoulder after he came back ran wild on him in the second half last week. So, I don't think that we can automatically sleep on the Jets team. I don't really have a take on the side or total, but I would look at Brees Hall for over for carries. I would look at over for yards. I would look at all things Brees Hall because they are very, very quickly moving their offense to center completely around him, and rightfully so. The kid's got so much talent.
Yes, sir. What's the next game we got on the list?
We can go
Yeah,
Vikings Dolphins.
Vikings Dolphins. It is. For me, I like the Dolphins at home. I think they just perform that much. They perform way better at home, and I'm getting them as a dog. Obviously, you know, the quarterback situation is the first thing we're gonna balk at. Obviously, we got a seventh round rookie playing for the Miami Dolphins. I do think though, with a week of preparation and the pieces that are around him, that this team can be very effective. Um, yeah, that's really my only anticipation. I believe that whoever the quarterback is will be able to get the ball to Tyreek Hill. He's schemed open very well by an amazing offensive mind in Mike McDaniel. So I still expect Miami to be able to put up some points and yards here against a Minnesota team that seems to play much better at home.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, so right now, I don't, this total has actually been bet down, open at 46.5. It's now down to 45.5, 95,895 bets per Action Network. Total bets placed in the game, 65% of the cash, 87% of the tickets are on the under here, which is driving it down, which actually makes me like the over. And here's why. So Miami ranks 30th against the pass, and they rank dead, or I believe it's last or close to last in points allowed to wide receivers. Obviously, the Vikings have an exceptional one in Justin Jefferson. I also think that, to your point, with a week of scheming and game planning, I think that the Dolphins today can make Skylar Thompson look a lot better than he actually is. Not to say the kid doesn't have talent, but he is a 7th-round rookie who has played sparingly for a reason. So Waddle and Hill, they both missed practice early in the week. They were limited. Their practice progression went exactly as you would expect for guys who are close to 100%. You missed practice Wednesday, you're limited Thursday, you're a full go Friday. They'll both play their normal allotment of snaps today. So really don't expect any downgrade there, but 45.5 just seems way too low for me. I actually like the first half over. I like the full game over here. And I personally believe that this game has some very, very sneaky shootout potential because the Vikings defense much, much better at home than it is on the road. And I already mentioned some of the Dolphins struggles. The other things you might want to look at are any part of the Vikings passing game, because the Dolphins do rank in the top half in rushing defense and points allowed to backs in all their games, and they rank so poorly against the pass. Kevin O'Connell has been really done a really nice job of scheming his guys to get open. I thought he did an exceptional job each of the last few weeks trying to get the ball in his playmakers' hands. So I would look for the over here. You can get it at 45. I think you can get it at Bet Rivers. I don't know how many people play on there, but most places have it at 45.5. I like over either way.
Sweet. Next matchup is the Cardinals and Seahawks. Obviously, my boy, our buddy Ryan, aka that sports guy, has been unable to join us this season thus far. However, he said he'll be soon. I think he had to wait for some level of positivity to actually talk about this damn team. So he see the offense looking all right. So all of a sudden he wants to come back on the show. Salute to him though. He's doing great things with the hockey. It's my guy. For me personally, I've already bet the over in this one. I think it's an offensive game. I think that Seattle's defense, while they have some guys who have looked okay and have made plays on their defense and in special teams. That Woolen kid looks like they hit a home run with him at corner. He looks like he's going to be one of them guys. I like the over. I think both teams put up points here. It is a division game. I know people are very, very keen to remembering that division games, I think it's a shootout. I think we get a lot of offense. I think both teams are equipped to beat each other, and I think that they have the pieces to beat each defense. Philly didn't put up a lot of points last week because they're a run-based offense. Pass games can usually get off pretty well against Arizona. I mean, all the teams with pass games have gotten off against them this year. And you didn't see it, last week because they played a more mobile quarterback or a more run-based offense. So yeah, that's my only take. Only playing this one. I like the over.
Yeah, I would say that too. If you're going to bet the over, I would bet it now. It's open at 47. It's up to 50.5, which makes sense because 61% of the cash, 74% of the tickets off 81,823 bets, all on the over. I think that this one's going to probably get steamed up even further. The one thing that I think supports it too, Sosa, is 3 of the last 4 games between these two teams have scored 49 points or higher, and actually 2 of them have been in the 60s. So that's also helped, I think, by the fact that both the Cardinals and the Seahawks are 27th or worse against the pass. I would expect to see a good amount of throwing here, whether or not expected to be an issue. The one thing that I'm interested to see is Benjamin. So James Conner obviously out, Darrell Williams obviously out. So the only people left in this backfield right now would be Benjamin. And
he's going to fumble today too. I guarantee he fumbles.
Oh,
today.
I'm sure he will. And Keontae Ingram. Now, one thing about Benjamin, for those that don't know who he is a very undersized back. He barely weighs over 200 pounds, and he's not really built to handle a full load of carries. So I just saw a report that said he will get the bulk of the carries. It never said he will get a ton of carries. I would expect Arizona to go very, very pass heavy today. I think you can look at anything Kyler Murray. You can look at anything Hollywood Brown. Seahawks don't really have the corners to cover that type of speed. They've actually been doing, for as much shit as I talk about Kingsbury, I do think that he's done a nice job of scheming Hollywood Brown to get open. He's been a PPR darling, so I would look there. Totally support the over. Don't really have a take on the side here. I'm just interested to see how many carries they actually let Eno Benjamin have. I personally see a lot of shotgun, a lot of pitching, get him outside, utilize some of his shiftiness and his speed, just because he's so undersized and he's never really taken more than 10 to 12 carries per game, and he especially hasn't run between the tackles. So I would be very, very wary. I know I've gotten a few questions about everything Benjamin, and I'm like I don't know if
volume. That's what
I don't know if he's a guy that you can just pound all game. I just don't think he is. I don't think he can hold up. So, especially not in his first NFL start. So, and then I just real quick want to go back to the one question I saw: Pittman or Godwin, full PPR from Esther and Kiki. The answer to that question, my answer to that question would be: Pittman has a safer floor, but a lower ceiling. Godwin has the exact opposite. So base your decision on what you need. So if you have a little bit of a safer floor in the rest of your lineup and you feel more comfortable with that, you can go with Godwin because he's got a lot of boomer bust, which I'll talk about in a bit. And if you go with Pittman, you have a little bit of a safer target floor.
Absolutely. And the last game that we don't have anyone in for today is Panthers-Rams. Listen, I have nothing in this one. If I had to, I would actually take the Panthers with the points because of the rallying cry of, win one for the coach, right? New coach, new energy, new whatever. That would be my only lean. That's an emotional thought process. It's not a recommendation for anybody to go gamble their money because Sosa feels the players are going to feel sorry for the coach and they'll win the game for him. So,
my only take on that is hallelujah and praise the Lord that Matt Rule is gone. As a Bucks fan, I am not happy about it. I was hoping he'd coach there forever because then we only have to beat two teams for the division title. However, nothing really here from me either.
And we can also run straight into the Bucks game because that's your game and that's the first one on the docket. Yeah. Not sure if Jammer's going to be able to join us. He said he's not feeling too great.
I just want to say one more thing about the Rams.
For sure.
One thing, if you do have Cam Akers on your fantasy football team, hold on to him for now. He has very likely played his last down of football in LA. Recent report is that he's got some significant football and philosophical differences between him and the team. Team's been very vague about it.
He thinks he's Todd Gurley and he's not.
Yeah, he has played his last down of football in Los Angeles. Simple. I can put it to you that way. Now, he is expected to draw significant interest on the trade market. Teams are already calling, so hold on to him because it's going to depend on where he goes. If he goes to a running back starved team, the boy's got talent. So, flex PPR, Melvin Gordon, Henderson, Jacoby Myers, or Pickens. I would go Gordon. I'd probably go Gordon there. You could make a case for Jacoby Myers, especially in a PPR.
A little banged up though. That's only
but he was last week and he had 7 catches for 111. So
fair enough.
I would say that Gordon has the safer floor. Myers has the higher ceiling. Don't worry about the other two.
Sumner says Jets team total. Hey man, listen, they're playing for Zach. They're playing for Zach out there. Next matchup is the Bucs Steelers. Obviously, Steelers last week, first time in the history of the franchise being underdogs of 14 points, which is rather insane for any Mike Tomlin coach team or any Pittsburgh team in the history of football. And then they proceeded to get absolutely put on the hub. They got smoked. Kenny Pickett, I don't know what to make of him yet. I've never been a fan. I don't think he sucks. I don't think he's good either. Going to be a very interesting situation with him. I personally believe that this is another situation where the Bucs are just better. Way too many points for me to touch. I know I said the same thing last week. I still am giving Mike Tomlin an unprecedented or unreasonable amount of respect, I suppose. But here we are.
For me here, So 9.5 points is way too many. This line opened at 5.5. That sounded just about right to me. At Pittsburgh, tough place to play. Steelers are tough at home. The other thing is, even though we won last week, our offense just still is not clicking on all cylinders. Wide receivers are all still banged up. So I don't think that we've unleashed our full potential yet. And for this one, Julio Jones is going to sit. Chris Godwin will play. However, be wary of that one because there's always a chance that he re-aggravates an injury. Mike Evans is fine, and Russell Gage actually went through a full practice, so he should be fine. So those are your top 3 receivers for this week. But I would expect the Bucs to do just enough to win here. I definitely think that they win by a touchdown. The 9.5 is just way, way, way too high for me to even touch this one. I mean, the Bucs money line is out of the question because of how juiced it is, but I typically just don't bet spreads this high in the NFL. It's just way too many points for me. For the rest of this game, obviously, the Steelers defense has a ton of injuries. You have Minkah Fitzpatrick, Cameron Sutton, Witherspoon, Eli Wallace. They're all out. So the conventional wisdom says that Brady just absolutely carves up this defense. I don't think there's anything wrong with taking Brady props. The problem is they've already been factored into the lines a little bit. So you're not getting a whole lot of value by taking all of the Brady over props. However, if you are playing a DFS cash game, you can certainly stack Brady with any of the Bucs receivers. You can even stack them with Lenny. Another one you might want to stack them with if you are going to play in a tournament, or that you might even want to look at a sneaky prop option, would be Cade Otton. Rookie tight end. Man he was drafted to be the receiving replacement for Gronk, and through training camp, Cameron Brate was the number 1 tight end because he knew the offense better. Now Otton has a much better grasp of it, and actually in practice with the first team, even though Brate cleared concussion protocol and is fully healthy and is a full go, they were splitting snaps with the first team. So I think that there's probably maybe a week or two of value where you can get it before books catch on, because really this is going to be tight end 1A and 1B. So I wouldn't hang my whole DFS future or my whole fantasy future on Cade Otton, but not the worst pick you can do because I very easily see him as being number 1 tight end by the end of the season. So, but for me, for this game, I mean, the 63% of the bets and 26% of the money are on the Bucs. So what that tells me is that sharp money is on the Steelers and the public is on the Bucs. So when I'm betting, if I'm going to bet on this game, I would much rather bet with the sharps and bet with the books than I would with the public, because everybody sees all the injuries and thinks that the Bucs are going to win by 1,000,000. That's not what we've been doing this year, guys. If you go back and look at our games, we've been winning, but even against Dallas, when it looked like we dominated, I mean, we only won by 2 possessions. So, I mean, we haven't gone out and just pummeled a team like, say, Buffalo did to Pittsburgh last week. So if you're going to bet this game, take Pittsburgh with the points and look at some of the props I talked about. Otherwise, I don't really want to touch much of this game. So,
yeah, I have nothing else to say about old man Brady. Next game up on the dock is Jags Colts. Colts missing their entire running back room. They got Deion starting today. Just a rough run right now for them. They're playing Jacksonville. Last time Jacksonville played them, Jacksonville beat the shit out of them. Kind of the same story as the first time. The Colts first time they played had no running or no wide receivers. They got the wide receivers back, but the running backs are all gone now. Trevor Lawrence looked absolutely atrocious last week against Houston. Had no reason whatsoever to make that horrendous throw that he made in the red zone where Stingley got his first career interception. I mean, absolutely embarrassing. I also don't know if Sam's joining for both the Bengals and Colts or just the Bengals. But I do know that this guy is joining for Duval. What's up, my boy? How are you today? How are things?
I'm good. Great college slate yesterday. We're gonna have a great NFL slate. I'm always rocking my Rutgers stuff, but today I got on the Rawway shirt. That's a different R right there.
Ooh, okay.
R
my man showed up dripped out on a Sunday morning. I love it.
Nah, I mean, you got me all sad bringing me in because you talked about how bad that Jaguar game was last week.
I have to be impartial.
Nah, I know. It's just run the ball, man. Trevor Lawrence, he's inconsistent right now. It's pretty much his rookie year. I mean, he's young, whatever. Like, he's inconsistent. Travis Etienne shouldn't rush for
Pretty much
10 carries for 71 yards. If he has 71 yards on 10 carries, he needs 15 carries at least. I got my notebook also today. I'm old school today.
That's fancy. It's very that vintage behavior.
Yeah, man. My laptop's in the shop, so
I like that.
A little messed up. I'm on my phone. Christian Kirk, 1 catch for 11 yards for all that money they gave him. Zay Jones banged up. The Jaguars have to run the ball today, or they're gonna lose again. If ETN and J-Rob don't have a combined 25, 30 carries, it's a wrap. Which is why I'm betting their overs. But I'm going to go the rushing and receiving route because they're both involved in the passing game. I mean, Jamal Agnew is one of the best returners in the NFL, but he shouldn't be a focal point of the Jaguars receiving room. That's just like the dude's great in space, but he's not a 4 or 5 catch kind of guy. So because of that, I'm loving James Robinson over 52.5 rushing and receiving combined. ETN over 59.5 rushing and receiving combined. It's the only way the Jags win, in my opinion, is to feed these two. It's your strength of your team. Trevor Lawrence is the future and the present, but the best part of your team is your running room and the Jaguars' offensive line. They're just better against the run. They're not athletic with the pass block. They're maulers with the run block. So feed them the ball. Yeah.
All right. I think that this kid, there's a Deion Jackson.
Yep.
His name. I think that it's viable that you play him. Just based on volume.
And
Injuries have decimated that running back room. I think that's the only guy that I like. A lot of people like this Alec Pierce kid. I think he's a perfect guy for a old Matt Ryan who can barely I don't think he can really get the ball downfield. We heard Kirk Herbstreit on national TV on Thursday just lying. Matt Ryan, he still got that big arm, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like Herbstreit was just lying for no reason. I lean Colts if I had to take a side simply because of their performance at home against this team historically, which is the exact reason why we picked Jacksonville earlier in the season because of how they performed at home historically. They've won the last 8 there. I think it's a situation where it's the familiarity makes it a close game. Colts win a 3-point game. I don't see either team really going crazy. I will also say this: if Indy does not have any semblance of a run game at all, which is what I think people expect, but I think the O-line's good enough to get them something on the ground. If they can't get anything at all, Jacksonville could easily do what they did the first time they played because they'll be able to play one side of one part of the offense. If the run games, because the pass game was pretty much completely eliminated with no Pierce, no Pittman. You're throwing a rookie tight end, Mo Alley Cox, and guys that are Amazon flex drivers. Right. So this week you got Jackson and Lindsey. I mean, if they don't get some level of production from the run game, it could be an identical situation all over again. Initial lean though would be the Colts simply because of the recency and just the historic advantage they've had playing at home.
Yeah, for me, not a lot of props interest me in this game. I do like the Robinson one for sure that Goose gave out, but I'm looking really at the total here and more specifically the team total. So this total opened at 44. It's been bet down heavily to 41. Actually, just very, very recently, 91,633 bets, 90% of money, but only 33% of bets are on the under here. So what that tells me, just like the last game, is that public's on the over and sharps are on the under. So I know what side I want to be on. The other one, when I'm looking at that, where I think I'd like to be, would be on Jags team total under 20.5. 3 straight games they've been under 21 points at Indianapolis. So they score at home, and then it's kind of more of a little bit of a lower scoring slugfest when they are at Indy. So my look here is going to be on the Jags team total under. I think that the 3 points, getting this steam down from 44 to 41, takes the value out of it. So I think that there's still a little bit of value left on Jags team total under. Not going to go big on it, but it is something that I think is playable.
So Jaguars Colts. Let me just tell the viewers why they should watch this game also, because many people watching are probably like, Jaguars Colts. This is the first elimination game in the NFL. The Jaguars don't come back if they lose to the Texans and then to the Colts like this. The Colts aren't making the playoffs if they get swept by the Jaguars. To me, this is an elimination game already in week 6. Whoever loses is not making the playoffs. I'll almost guarantee that. So yeah, it's gonna be an intense one. I'm fired up.
So, any final looks from you? I was about to call you Duval. Goose, any final little plays that you like in this one outside of James Robinson? Anything else?
Yeah, I'm keying in on the 2 Jaguar running backs, because if I'm coach, I'm feeding them the rock with the way the receivers have been looking lately.
All right.
Especially Zay Jones. We've been shouting him out every week. He's a little hurt. He played last week. He missed 2 weeks ago. He's still a little banged up, so I'm not touching his props until he shows some healthy resemblance.
Our 2 again, paid for play. Make sure you guys are locked in with Goose. They're killing it over there. We're actually bringing on two guys who kill it on paid for play next. Love you as well. As always, Goose, appreciate you. We'll catch you next week, my boy. So I'm just do a quick introduction. One guy's an LSU fan who is only a Bengal fan because of the guys that played at LSU and lives in Indiana and was our Colts guy last year. I'm just making sure I got it all there. The other guy is from Atlanta, but is a Saints fan and has season tickets to the Falcons, but only goes to the one game when the Saints play there. So, I mean, everyone knows who we're talking about. We're talking about Sam, Dumb Brain Picks, the biggest LSU ambassador on the planet. And, our boy Roddy. Nice floor mat you have there, my friend. Very nice. Very, very nice.
Playing my music.
How are y'all today, man? We got a big we got a big matchup, obviously, with Joe Burrow going down to the dome, right? He's had some success there.
Yeah, he's already trying to soften us up wearing the damn Jamar Chase jersey. God.
I'm just saying. It's very nice. It's a very nice jersey. Who do we start with? Whose team's better? Oh, y'all both got the same record.
Look, you think I'm about to jump out the window and say mine? Hell no.
All right, well, we'll let Sam go first because I have some thoughts about this Bengals team, and I'll share them for after you get through. Obviously, big matchup, non-conference, interconference, played indoors. What are you thinking here? Because it's been very interesting, the trajectory of this this Bengals team. Everybody thought it'd be the offense. It hasn't been the offense, been the defense.
Zach Taylor's a fraud, man.
I've
said it since last year. Zach Taylor's a fraud. He's been propped up last year by Joe Burrow. Like, this defense is the only thing keeping them in games right now. I mean, I think I can't remember if it was this week or last week, but they released the Jamar Chase route tree that he ran, and it was essentially just the same route over and over again. There's no creativity in the offense. But I mean, this Saints defense just got torched by Geno Smith, so let's go for a shootout in the dome. I mean, Joe Burrow's rocking in with the Jamar Chase jersey. First time back in the dome since the Natty. It's going to be a great game. I'm hoping for some fireworks.
Roddy, welcome in.
Yeah. First of all, shout out to the pay for play guys. We killed it yesterday. Amazing slate.
I know my
but
team won. Did your team win, Roddy?
my team did win. I
stay
know some
focused.
people in
focused.
northern Alabama whose team didn't win, but we'll get to that later. Spin, I know this backfired on me last time, but we're going back to it, baby. We're going back to it.
Luchador.
Go.
Look. All
Let's
right.
fucking go. We are
All
back.
right, damn it. Look,
Luchador.
this
Love
motherfucker
it.
thought he could wear the damn national championship jersey from 3 years ago, and we're gonna be like, oh my god, oh, we remember when you threw the ball to Jamar Chase wide open because your offensive coordinator was so much better than every defensive coordinator you faced that year. Look, man, all right, I'm going full hater today, okay? Full hater, because again, the display that I watched last Sunday night was awful, okay? It was awful, all right? I don't know what's going on with the Bengals defense. I understand that we don't have Marshawn Lattimore today, okay? I get it. But Paulson Adebo, he is that guy. And I'm telling you, you're going to see today he's that guy. So we'll start off with my first bet. Jamar Chase's longest reception is at 26.5 yards. I'm going under at even money. That boy ain't catching no fucking 9 balls today, okay? There's going to be a safety shading him, okay? He's going to get man coverage. He's going to get, you know what I'm saying, bumped at the line. He don't like that, all right? So I understand LSU won yesterday. It's a high, you know what I'm saying? LSU is the biggest football team in Louisiana. It's easy. Like, there's no argument. But they're not good, bro. Offensively, they've been mid. And I think the really one thing, Sam was talking about Zach Taylor being a fraud. I think the main thing that has made them look the most fraudulent is the fact that they cannot run the ball anymore. And I don't know why. The offensive line, obviously, you know, they tried to tweak it in the offseason and make it better. But still, man, I can't understand why they can't run the ball. Like, Joe Mixon has been an underrated player to me for the last, 3-4 years, as one of the best backs in the league, and he's gotten nothing. So
he can't make anyone miss.
I know. I don't know if he's old. Like, what's the problem?
I mean, like he has like 2 broken tackles on the season, and he's averaging 2 yards a carry, if that.
It's because the guys you paid for the O-line fucking stink. They were he has the
worst missed tackle rate in the league.
It's a little different, right? It's a little different shopping at Louis than at TJ Maxx. Them offensive linemen that y'all got are some TJ Maxx ass offensive linemen.
It's still better than the garbage, like the dumpster fire that they had last year.
Maxx.
It's better than living on the street. Like you're shopping in the dumpster last year, and now you're shopping at TJ Maxx. That's a step up still.
Are Roddy and Sam really having this mid-off this whole time?
Whoa.
Says the guy that one is late as fuck, and two bets on Joe Burrow every fucking week. You bet on it every week.
Sosa's in his feels because his team lost yesterday, and he's mad. Brian Kelly's
That's
doing
why I was
great.
trying to avoid that conversation.
Yeah. He's lashing out. It's okay.
And just because your team,
I'm the reason you guys won.
No, you're not.
No,
you got my coach to come to your school and win. So technically,
because he knew he couldn't win anything at your school, so
should have been thanking me. That's all.
Hey, look, just because your team is 5-0 right now does not mean you can talk crazy to us, okay? All right? You haven't felt this in a very long time, all right? Cherish it. It's been 5 years. Cherish it.
It's a wonderful fight. How do we take you serious with that damn mascot?
What do you mean how you take me serious? We're underdogs. Do we have to rob the bank again? I mean, I know, like I said, Spin, we didn't really, rob the bank last time. Right. I said we're going to rob the bank. But this is a different day, damn it.
Y'all can read that.
Jamar Chase to score 2 touchdowns. Ain't no way. Paulson Adebo locking that up.
Yep.
He locking that up.
We're right. Who's riding with me?
I've got it.
Who's riding with me? That's all.
I might go up the ladder to 3. I mean, just running back from the natty.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on.
He might really fuck y'all up today, bro.
My only thoughts on this game.
He's in the crib.
My only thoughts on this game, very simple. 100% agree with Sam. The Bengals don't have an offense problem. They don't have a defense problem. They have a Zach Taylor problem. Some of the worst fucking play calling I've ever seen. Mind-numbingly stupid. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, and I look, that's why I don't know why Joe Mixon's receiving yards is at 21.5. I mean, I understand he's not running the ball, so I guess that's the other option to get him involved. But I still think the linebacking core of the Saints is good. I think their nickel is good. So I don't see him getting over 21.5 receiving yards today. So I took that one as well. And then my last one, I'm going over 20.5 on the Saints point total. Okay. I understand that we got a lot of offensive pieces missing. Okay. But Taysom Vick is playing today. All right. The most valuable player in the league. All right. Taysom Vick. All right. And you're going to see shades of 03, 04, 05 Michael Vick in that white man from BYU today. Okay. I know he's from BYU. There may be some deceptive speed, hashtag first guy in, last guy out, but Taysom Hill, baby. Taysom Vick. At least a touchdown. I'm not making it official, but I think he's going to get in the end zone today too. Again.
A nice price on his ATD. I believe it's like 225 or something like that.
Plus 225?
2 touchdowns, Jamar Chase, brother. Plus 600 is the easiest bet of the week.
And Alex, I haven't smoked my weed yet. That's later on. I'll do that. And Sosa, I'm going to see your team today, by the way. I didn't like that intro where I only go to one Falcons game, okay? I love NFL football. I'm going to the game today. I'm going to see your team lose. So it's
see how you framed it with me losing? See, the only reason he's showing up there is to see the other quality football teams that play Atlanta.
And delete beers.
Just say you like us, man. It's all good.
And delete beers. That's all.
Deleting beers is key.
Okay, man. We love you. We love y'all anyway. Don't even matter. It's all love.
Yo, this thing is hurting my face now. But I'm going to keep it on for content.
Dedication, Roddy. I got 4 bets for today. I'll keep it simple. Jags money line. I know you all just talked about that one. I'm going Jags money line, even money. Colts have nobody playing for them. They just feel like a dead team. The city feels dead. So then I'll go Bengals -3. Jamar Chase touchdown plus 105, and then 2 touchdowns plus 650 on DraftKings.
Let's go. Roddy, any last plays?
First of all, shout out Geno Smith, man. Okay. I know look. I know Goose was saying we got lit up by him. He's been a top 10 quarterback in the league this year.
Top 6. Worse.
Bro, the throw rolling left to Disley, like alpha play action is insane. So
the disappearing egg to Lockett was the best throw of the fucking week.
In triple coverage, mind you.
That's a disappearing egg. That's a perfect throw from about 50. That was holy shit.
But I got them on the money line, man. I really think the Cards are just like too inconsistent, too up and down. There's play calling issues. There's a lot of the stuff that we were talking about with the Bengals, and their coach is a fucking idiot. So I would take the Seahawks money line today. Why not? They're at the crib. They've been playing amazing football. They've been scoring points, which is something that we probably didn't think they were going to do. So give me the Seahawks money line. But that's it. Other than the plays I gave, that's it.
All right. Well, Roddy, Sam, good talking to you guys and paid for play yesterday. Hungry Dog couldn't get there for us, but still a solid episode.
My Hungry Dog got
wonderful
there.
Day.
Tennessee money line, baby.
Fuck Mississippi State. Jesus Christ.
Wonderful day of college football, though, yesterday. Let's roll it back in today. We appreciate you guys joining us per usual.
All right, boys.
Next week. See you.
Big heads. All right. Next game we got up on the board. We got the Ravens versus the Giants. We got Wink going back against the old squad here. You got Wan'Dale Robinson finally. Looks like he's going to be playing today. All the hype is about him out there. Him, Sosa, you're the Ravens analyst.
So
5.5 is a weird number, but
it is a weird number. I'm not touching the number. I think that one thing we've learned about Dable is that Dable is he knows how to adapt and morph to who he has. Give me 1 second.
Spin. What do you got for us here?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to bet against anything Saquon Barkley these days. The man is just been absolutely dominant. He is right now a shoe-in for comeback player of the year. The other thing is Baltimore.
MVP.
What's that?
Need the MVP of plus 3,000.
Hey, I gave that out. I sent that on Twitter a couple weeks ago. He was plus 1,400 to win OPOY. I said that is pretty good value, actually. So, anyways, Baltimore ranks 22nd against the run. I wouldn't expect that the Giants would do anything different. It's probably going to be a little bit slower, a little bit low scoring, but Brian Dable, man, very early favorite for Coach of the Year. How can you not?
That's what I was really alluding to. I mean, listen, part of understanding how to be a great coach is understanding the talent that you have in the room and how to actually deploy it. He knows he's got one superstar. He's trying to do his very best to not overkill Saquon. The only time we've really seen Saquon get a ton of carries is when they've asked him to salt a game away or like end the game where you know you get a lot of carries late in the game. Dable's a very, 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 very like elite offensive mind. All of Daniel Jones's long runs have come. Why? Because they fear the play action with Saquon. It ain't because of him. It's obviously a lot of action off of Saquon, and then he just gets 15 yards of green grass right in front of him because nobody expects him to tuck it. I want to continue to. I want to bet on the Giants. I just don't think the number's just weird for me personally. I like Saquon I like Saquon's rushing and receiving. And the only other play that I liked in this one is I like Lamar Jackson to score multiple touchdowns on the ground today. I think mobile quarterbacks can give this defense a fit. I think Lamar goes off personally. Whether the defense decides that they want to fuck it off at the end, it's on them. But I think Lamar Jackson has a rather explosive offensive game today.
What we saw, and running back the game from London last week with the Giants, I think this is the put up and shut up game where I'm actually going to have to give them respect if they win today. If they cover, I can still keep talking my shit, but what they did in the second half of that last game of controlling the clock is exactly the recipe that they're going to need to implement for this week. Are they going to be able to do it this time? Not too sure, but no bets for this one for me. It's just simply the Giants put up or shut up game, and I'll give them respect if they get the outright dub.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I saw Tim Halder in the chat. Yeah, Daniel Jones has that sneaky athleticism.
And that 15-yard line comes out of nowhere sometimes, man. You just eat shit.
He must be a coach's son.
Him, Cooper Kupp, and Hunter Renfrow, man. Most sneaky athletic guys in the league.
You're disrespecting the top one now in that category, Alec Pierce. I'm going to keep putting more respect on his name because he's balled out the last 2 weeks.
Alec
and
Pierce
I need him to ball out again this week.
He got wiggle.
Alec Pierce, remember that name.
Alec.
All right, Alex. Let's go. Patriots, Browns. Oh, we might have to remove ourselves from this one. This is going to be a different type of.
They know each other. They know each other way too well.
This one's a different type of head-to-head, but we'll bring them in. You already know.
Miguel, Michael Williams.
Bullpen bets. Looks like he's live from the Foxborough Times. I see that office. I'm liking it. But you two already know what's up. Miguel, sorry we always make you do these head-to-heads, but it's just fun. So we got to keep making you do them.
Okay, cool. I don't know if my mic, I don't have my headphones, bullpen. So if I'm echoing, you guys gotta let me know either in the chat or wherever.
No, you're straight.
Okay, cool. If you guys can hear me good, that's fine. I don't want to mess up, the show or nothing like that with my raggedy speaker set up right now. But hey, what's up, bullpen? Ready to take this L or what?
I'm pumped. You know how it is. Big Sunday. I get all excited. I'm like a kid on Christmas morning. I can't take it. It's weird. After all these years, you'd think I'd get used to it, but every Sunday I am just absolutely fired up.
I know. Didn't we beat y'all last year, right?
Yeah, we got waxed last year. And
I remember that show. I remember it.
Yeah, that was pretty ugly, actually. Hopefully we don't see that again, but you know, it's tough right now. The Browns are a disappointment. No Clowney, no Ward. JOK's been a disappointment. No, he's got 0 sacks and 0 picks this year. So I mean,
hope for the season.
Yeah. Well, let's not go that far. I mean, we do got Watson on the back burner here. So
oh yeah, there's that guy.
There's that. Yeah. So hopefully we can, stay afloat until we get him on the field.
So it should be no surprise. I do like the Patriots money line here. Jacoby Brissett, we know you. We know you. You're a product of our environment. There's no way I can trust the Cleveland Browns with Jacoby Brissett behind center. Bailey Zappi is now the new Tom Brady, as Mac Jones is Drew Bledsoe. And he could be on his way out if he doesn't, get better and come out here and perform. But I just think this is a spot. Bill Belichick has enough venom against the Browns where I think we're motivated to come out and get a dub. I think you agree with that, right, Bullpen?
Yeah, I mean, the line has actually shifted in the Browns' favor, and who knows? I mean, I've thought the Browns were going to win every game this year, and they could have very easily, but their defense is just trash. I mean, I could not believe this is going on. Like, Ward has just been getting lit up every game. Now he's hurt. I mean, he was supposed to be top 5 corner in the league. He's looking like, a bus ticket out of town. We just gave him a bunch of money too. Like he got paid.
Yeah, that's something the Browns would do.
So I don't know. I'm on the over myself, 43. I think there's some points scored today. Especially with, no Clowney, no Ward, Walker Jr. Like nobody thought much about Walker Jr. being out, but he's significant in that defense. So I'm not going to pick a side. I hope the Browns win. I mean, I'm not betting on it. I did pick them in a pool, but I'll be honest with you. After last year's slacking, I don't know. I mean, that was ugly last year.
Bullpen is talking in code, everyone. So he actually is agreeing with me.
Somewhat, yeah.
Do money line.
Somewhat, yeah.
So that's what we're going to do.
I wouldn't bet it, but I could see him winning for sure.
Everybody in the chat, we're all a gang right now. We're all a family. Let's all go ahead, put a unit on the Patriots. We'll meet at the bank. We'll get some drinks. I'll have Mountain Dew. I don't drink alcohol. So we'll nail it like that. There's some props out here that I also wanted to get to. And it's pass interceptions. Jacoby Brissett over 0.5 is at a plus 120. And that's just standing there. New England, we don't have names on defense. So I couldn't ask Tim Halder in the chat, does he know any starters on the Patriots on defense? Probably not. But as a unit, we're fucking awesome. And Jacoby Brissett, I know you. You're going to throw a pick today. That's plus money.
I could get behind that for sure. The only actual play I got's on the over. I think there's going to be some points. I think both teams are going to try to run the ball. The Browns can't stop anybody on the ground. So I would imagine that Stevenson gets off today. I don't know.
Go ahead, Bullpen. I'm sorry.
Well, is Harris, he's a game time decision, I guess. So Stevenson would be the play, I would imagine.
Right.
But that's pretty much all I got. I mean, it's been ugly. Like I'm with the rest of the dog pound, just hoping that Watson gets out there and he can do. He's going to have a lot of pressure on him, but hopefully we're just still in the hunt. I mean, that division's all those teams are like 500 teams. I mean,
well, it all starts with your name. We got to get you guys a better name. The Cleveland Browns. Well, you guys are automatically set up for failure.
It's better than
that's a valid point.
It's better than
the fucking point.
Guardians. I mean, what was that? Like, come on.
No, it's better than the Commanders. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like come
That
on,
sound like
man.
a children's toy
Left
back in
hand,
the
left.
90s.
But yeah, I got some looks on some other games. I'm not, this game's not. It's just with all the injuries, and you got the battle of the backup quarterbacks, and the Cabe York guy. Like after coming out week 1 and being a hero, he's looked more like a zero, like that guy. I mean, a 3rd-round pick, and you can't kick a 30-yard field goal. I mean, this guy. I mean, they're gonna run his ass out of town.
I would.
I mean, that's terrible. I mean, he did the kick to win the game in week 1 was great, and I was all pumped up, like talking him up. And that kid, I mean, wow,
Might be out of a job before week 8.
that's terrible. Like he's
That's
let
the
me down a
craziest part.
bunch. Yeah, and then these coaches in the NFL, and it's like across the board. Like some of this shit, like the Denver coach is a mess. The Cincinnati coach is, I don't know what he's doing. The Chargers coach is a disaster. And when you're betting these games, you're relying on these guys to make some good decisions. And, I mean, you see it. You see what's going on. It drives you nuts.
It's outside of pocket.
It's bad.
Sosa or Spin, you got any plays or last thoughts on this?
Nick Chubb,
game
2
before we hop
touchdowns,
to the
plus
next one?
470.
Every week.
Nick Chubb's 2 touchdowns, plus 470. Better every week.
Every week.
He's the best pure runner in football. It's you can say whatever you want. The best jump cut I've ever seen outside of LaDainian Tomlinson. I'm going there. He's a freak athlete, special dude, can take it 80, can run in between the tackles, can get the edge, can set the. He's an amazing talent. Free that man though, Jesus Christ, he doesn't deserve what he's getting from Brissett right now. Plus 2 touchdowns, I'm gonna bet it every week. Plus 470. He's gonna get all the goal line work. The only time Kareem Hunt gets to stay in the game in the goal line or inside the red zone is if he's already in the play, because they tend to go tempo once you get in the red zone. Don't quite understand what Stefanski calls sometimes. That's another thing. And then one last thing, Jacoby Brissett lost you the game last week. I have to make that clear, because if we're going to give him credit when you win, you'd have to be honest. He had no reason throwing that pass inside the 10 that resulted in an interception. He had the game won. All you had to do was not – you could have thrown that straight out the back of the end zone. No reason to make that throw whatsoever. When he plays well, I give him his credit. When he does dumb shit like that, I'm also going to be very critical of it. But yeah, Nick Chubb, it's I'm just loving to see. I'm loving seeing running backs healthy and then performing at a high level. Derrick Henry, Saquon, Dalvin, and Chubb all look outstanding.
And Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah. I was just going to say Ramondre Stevenson over carries here. Damian Harris is going to test out his hamstring pregame. I personally think that there was never a chance he was going to play. This is gamesmanship by the coach that does it the best. I really, really don't think that they had any intention of playing Damian Harris today. So Ramondre Stevenson will get the bulk of the carries, and they have just been feeding this kid, and he's been producing. So I would take his over carries pretty much no matter what it is, up to 21.5.
Hey, Spin, how do you feel about Roster and Stevenson and Chubb together in the same lineup?
I think that that's actually a nice run back that you can do for sure.
You know, a lot of times we don't like to do that with the same game running backs.
No, not in DFS. But I think this is actually a case where it might work out. This is actually the one game this week where I think that it could work. So I like that strategy a lot.
Absolutely.
That's a solid strategy.
We'll make sure.
Is Amari Cooper still alive?
Well, and speaking of Amari Cooper, he's got his yards are at 53.5. And Jacoby Myers is at 56.5. You'll never see that again. How do you got Myers getting more receiving yards than Cooper? I had to look twice. That should never happen, ever.
Well, that's what you come here for, with the top analysis from the guys that cover their teams in depth. Make sure you're tapped in with our man, Bullpen Bets, the helicopter man himself. And Mike, you got a lot of balls to be wearing that Cal pullover today after what they put on the field last night.
Look, man, I spent 2.5 semesters up there. I owe them money and computers, so I decided to wear their jacket instead, okay?
Love you, Mike.
That's real.
Until next week.
I respect it.
God. It's real hard. It's real hard to segue sometimes after that, but make sure you give us that like, retweet, follow, sub. Well, I guess you can't like and retweet today's episode. Twitter's just done some bullshit today, but we kind of preluded to this game a little bit earlier when we were riding in here. We're going to be bringing in our Falcons analyst for a head-to-head against Sosa, another mid-off between.
And the thing is, you don't have to drop everyone. Because on this program, I've said nothing but good things about the Atlanta Falcons. Let that be on record. There's no negative press from Sosa the Locksmith when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons. I just wish that Arthur Smith was my coach. I'm not gonna lie. That's where I'm at. Listen, they've covered every game. I'm not gonna get on here and give anybody a long soliloquy about how great of an organization Atlanta is and how much I respect them and how much I like the coach. Talent would tell me that my team's better. We're banged up across the board. Players missing games, a lot of health issues. Same for the other side. No excuses on either in either capacity. I'm not sure. I think they said both are GTD, so we don't know. I don't know. I believe in the system that my team puts out there. I believe in my defensive coordinator. The only thing that I lean towards is the under in this game. I think that our defense is just that good. The way that we deploy defensive linemen, best in football. The way that we use stunts. The way that we have two of the freakish athletes that play linebacker in football. That's where I'm at. I think that it's a close game. I think we win. Betting on a team to not cover that's covered every game, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that off the top of my head. Trends would say otherwise, but that's really all I have. I got the Niners winning the game and it being close. No real official bets or anything of the sort because I don't really do that with my team. But we will win today though.
What's going on? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sosa, yeah, I mean, this game is going to be tough. At the end of the day, Kyle Shanahan, he's going to do what he has to do to get this team to move the ball as far as, with their backs. I'm expecting a big game from George Kittle today. He's had really good games against us. We can't seem to find a way to cover tight ends, especially with Keanu Neal no longer with us. Deion Jones is no longer here with us as well. Michael Walker is out today. We have the rookie, I believe it was our third round pick, Troy Anderson, out of a little small school. I think it was Monmouth College or something like that. But, Division II.
Jersey.
Yeah. He was a quarterback. He was a running back. Now he's a linebacker in the NFL. He's come a long way as far as like the progression goes. But if you're going to have him go one-on-one with George Kittle, it's not going to be fun. There's no safety that can go one-on-one with George Kittle. There's no linebacker. It really just comes down to your man, Jimmy G. What is he going to do? Is he going to, is he going to make that one play that helps him win the game? Is he going to make that one play where it keeps it tight? I feel like Grady Jarrett right now he's on something else this year. I think everyone has heard what he went through last year, going through a new defensive system. Now he's back. Yes. Sorry about that. But yeah, he's right now he's looking really good. But as far as Joey Bosa goes, Nick Bosa, I'm sorry. How do you feel about Nick Bosa probably not being in this game and you guys being so short on that defensive line?
I think that I've alluded to a lot of things in regards to the Niners, and the most important thing is that we have a great rotation of defensive linemen. It's not just Bosa. Bosa's a star, superstar. I'm not going to debate that or argue it. When he's on the field, he's an amazing talent. But I think collectively that the whole rotation is really good. It's not just him, and I think that if he's going to have to miss a couple games, I think that we can supplement for that. Losing Emmanuel Mosley though to a torn ACL though, that last week was probably the roughest thing. He had the pick six, took it back, and then blew out his knee. Kind of put a bit of a like you win the game, but when you don't get out of the game healthy, it hurts a little bit. So I wouldn't say it's a death sentence for me when it comes to Bosa. I just feel like the defense will be able to pick it up. They'll pick it back up, and we'll still perform at a relatively high level.
Yeah, I mean, right now they're not even respecting Marcus Mariota to throw a touchdown. I think he's at like plus points at a half for a touchdown. So I guess we'll see. I'm looking at Drake London. Obviously, I'm looking at Olamide Zaccheaus. I think they're going to get some type of production, but at the end of the day, I feel like I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sosa, but do you think this Atlanta Falcons offensive line is the best offensive line you guys have faced so far this year? Just looking at the talent that you guys have placed as far as Denver, the Rams, and obviously Chicago.
I think that the offensive line is probably more in sync. Arthur Smith doesn't ask offensive linemen to dominate the line of scrimmage. It's a lot of zone stuff. It's a lot of zone concepts. It's a lot of moving horizontally for the offensive line to create lanes for cutbacks in the run game. And obviously there's a lot of speed option, read option, a lot of stuff off of that from him, especially with the quarterback that he uses. So I would say probably they have the most cohesion of any group. And I think that they probably have the best grasp as a group than anyone else, because obviously Denver had a couple of guys missing. Rams playing with a new left tackle. Carolina, I mean, they're Carolina. So I know, but yeah, and then obviously, like I said, I give no stock into the Bears game. The only time I will think about the Bears game is in the event that my team does not make the playoffs. If we don't make the playoffs, I'll look back on that game and I'll say that's the one that cost us the year. Because that's how I view things. I know it's a game to game thing, but like if we miss the playoffs, and also like I put no onus on where you were seated when the playoffs start either. You could be 9-7, just get in and give yourself a chance. I'm cool with that. But yeah, as far as the O-line, I think you guys have the best system and probably best collective group on the offensive line. But I still think your defense is dog shit, and I think that we should be able to move the ball relatively well. Sorry, man, I didn't mean to say that.
No, listen. I definitely respect it. I mean, I'm just happy the way that Buccaneers game played out up until the very end. Being up, they controlled the game, the whole entire game. Like whatever they wanted to do, they would do. And it kind of shows that we have fight. It's a little different this year than the last couple of years where we actually have fight. So it's going to be interesting. My apologies, but listen, we're 1-1 versus Kyle Shanahan. We're hoping to maybe get one more, go 2-1, but we'll see.
Hey!
Your Twitter name says it all.
Hey, I'm just happy for you that your little man wants to be on camera with you. I've actually asked my son and my daughter who are in their teens if they ever wanted to make an appearance on camera, and they don't want to have nothing to do with me. So God bless.
The Twitter name says it all. We understand.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. No, thanks for having me, and let's make some money today at the end of the day.
Hey,
yes, sir.
I wouldn't be scared to take Atlanta with the points simply because they've covered every spread. They cover this week. We're talking like, okay, well, we might have to roll with them the entire year. They're just that good at, figuring it out at the end, or they might just be Buzz Lightyear falling with style. They're not really flying. They're just falling with style. They're trying to land on that first draft pick,
Until next week, make sure you're tapped in at Sebastian's Dad 19 on Twitter. Be following him for all the content and all the picks and everything he puts out there. We got 2 games left, I believe. Are we doing the Sunday Night Football game?
I think it's just one. I think the only thing left is Chiefs versus Bills for these. And we have our 2 analysts who've been waiting ever so patiently to get in here, ever so patiently. Chuck, we know as a Chiefs fan, Finesse just really loves Josh Allen. So it's a nice mix of both. It's great. It's a perfect matchup. Listen, we're gonna do the same thing we did with Mike and Bullpen. We're gonna just let these 2 individuals discuss it themselves together, because they also have a little bit of animosity toward each other since basketball season. So I've never actually gotten an opportunity to see them, on camera. So listen,
Duke it out.
Finesse, Bills, Chuck, that team from Kansas City.
Hello, Finesse. What's good, my man Chuck? you want to lead them off, Chuck? Or, it's your squad.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. You up first.
I bet. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm focused on the total. Obviously, game of the week, right? It should have been a primetime game, basically a primetime game. All eyes going to be on the game. It's going to be a great game either way. My favorite play in the game is the under. Sitting at 54 right now, probably get a 54 and a half somewhere. And I know not a lot of people are going to like that. First kind of thing pops off the page to me, right around 90% of the money's on the over, right? And for good reason. The public's going to be all over the over. Two elite offenses. We saw what happened last time they matched up. That game can be a little confusing though, right? 37 points scored last 5 minutes in that playoff game, right? So we were trending in a different direction than what the total, what the final score would tell you. But obviously, two great offenses, but two really good defenses, right? Chuck, you can attest to this, and you can probably speak on it more as a fan. But strength of that Kansas City defense has been that pass rush, has been that D-line. They're top 10 in adjusted sack rate, the third in total pressure rate, the second in hurry rate. So just all elite numbers in terms of being able to affect the quarterback. Whole completely different story now. We obviously know the mobility of Josh Allen. That Bills O-line has been doing a great job protecting him. I believe they're top 5 or top 6 in terms of adjusted sack rate allowed. So I trust that offensive line to at least somewhat stifle that pass rush that's been amazing. The back end is a different story for me. For the Chiefs, I think they can be exposed. I think they will be at times, but Bills defense is also elite. So I think there are some misleading things that mostly the public is going to look at, obviously with 90% of the money being on the over. But I like the under. Obviously, this game can fly over the total. We can just get straight fireworks, which wouldn't surprise me that much. But I do like the under. That's my favorite play for the game. And Chuck, you ain't going to like this one, but I like the Bills. I like the Bills to win and cover for a lot of the reasons I talked about. I think this game, a regular season game in week 6, I still think means more to this Buffalo team. It's tough to quantify that, right, in terms of betting wise, but Kansas City just seems like another regular season game, right? They've done their thing against the Bills. They got the playoff win. I think for the team, I think this means a little bit more to the Bills in a lower scoring game that's expected. Josh Allen's just playing at an unbelievable level, an unstoppable level, and I think that's going to be tough. You can make that same argument about Pat. We saw what he just did, some magical things, improvising and being the guy that we know him to be. I think it's a great game, but I like the Bills in this one. That playoff revenge factor, I think they make more plays. I think Josh Allen uses his legs to get away from that pass rush if they do get there. I think it's a big Josh Allen game. Defense is getting healthier for the Bills. Is playing lights out this year, and I think that's the difference. Kansas City has had to work so much harder than they have in the past to get their offense. They have to put long drives together. Bills have done that too at points, but if the Bills can consistently make the drives long and hard as fuck offensively for the Chiefs, I think that's exactly what they'll take. So most confident play for me will be the under, but I do lean Bills to win and cover. What you got, Chuck?
All right, so here's a few things. I do agree with you that the Bills do got the revenge factor. 13 seconds, that's hurting them deep down their hearts, man. They've been thinking about that all off season. Before the season even started, I did have us losing this game, but when I saw the line open up, I was like, okay, we're an underdog, and we know what Patrick Mahomes has done as an underdog in his career. He's 7-0-1 against the spread as a dog. Never lost you money as a dog. 5-2 straight up. So, just from looking at it from that perspective, I'm definitely gonna ride with him. But here's the thing: this is the first time in his NFL career that he's been a home dog. So it can be a little interesting. Now, you going to the under? I mean, that's quite interesting. I think I'm gonna go the other way. I mean, I know the public is pretty heavy on the over. Just all the factors that I've looked at in regards to this matchup. This team's been high scoring, and this particular ref today, Brad Allen, he's refed every Chiefs and Bills game since 2016, and both teams average 30 points a game. So just looking at it from that perspective, and both teams, they got rookies in the secondary today. They will get tested.
So just from that standpoint, I think it'll be first to 30. Now I can see why you say the under. You know what I mean? From that perspective. So I say this game could either go over or it will barely push. So it'll be real tight. I wish on that. I say first to 30 wins the game. And from that standpoint, I just think we got the Bills number, man. Honestly. I honestly do. I know they won the regular season last time and everything, but like I said, like you gonna say Patrick Mahomes is a dog in this spot, and I get it because the Bills they've been having this media love throughout the off season, during the regular season, as this team that's expected to win the Super Bowl, right? You know, pretty much everybody's gonna pick them to win the Super Bowl. So here's a few things though. I think Josh Allen is gonna be chasing in this one, so I expect them to have the numbers over Patrick Mahomes slightly. If I had to choose one of them to get their numbers, I would go Josh Allen slightly. I don't know why his passing. I don't know why either guy is at plus money for passing touchdowns. Something is wrong with that. Either Vegas thinks both of these teams are going to be elite as far as getting to the quarterback today, or there's going to be some turnovers in this one. But I think it's going to be a bit of a shot today, man. The weather's not too bad out here in Kansas City, so. At over 2.5 touchdowns, they got plus 125 for Josh Allen, and they got plus 140 for Patrick Mahomes. I would take a shot on those, man. I think they can both get 3 touchdowns in this game, honestly. And as far as like passing yards, I got Josh Allen over 298.5 at minus 115, and I got him over 30.5 passing attempts at minus 105. But the main two guys that I'm gonna go with as far as like the guys that I'm basically confident in is Travis Kelce and Gabe Davis. I think they're gonna go nuts in this one. I think we'll see some fireworks from both of those guys. Right now, you get Travis Kelce anytime touchdown minus 125, and then you get Gabe Davis at plus 120 for an anytime touchdown. But I'm gonna make a bold prediction today, man. I think they both get 2 touchdowns today. So yeah, both of those guys at plus money at DK Sportsbook. So like when you go to the touchdown scores here, let's see here. All right, here we go. 2 touchdowns or more. Travis Kelce at plus 425, and Gabe Davis, you can get that at plus 750. So like if you want to sprinkle a little something on a lay, hey, it'll be worth it. Put like $5 on it. You might get your bang for your buck on that. And speaking of Gabe Davis, man, I'm more confident in his props than Travis Kelce, man. I've said it over and over again on this show. The big body wide receivers, they always give us fits. Whether it's Mike Evans, Mike Williams, Michael Pittman Jr., you name it. They all got theirs. They 6'4", 6'5", tall receiver type of dude. So I think Gabe Davis is going to go nuclear, man. And, man, I like the future of Jalen Watson and Joshua Williams, but they some young guys. You know, they're going to make mistakes and all that. So I'm going to be bold here. I think Gabe Davis gets 100 yards, and you get that plus 400.
I like it. Yeah, just I'll say a couple of things. I'm sure the boys are trying to wrap it up, so I'll be quick. But yeah, you mentioned a lot of great points that kept me off of the Bills. I really do like the Bills to win the game. You mentioned Mahomes as a dog, right? That's a really tough stat to go against. You mentioned the past history, right? The Bills are 2-6 against the spread and straight up last 8 against the Chiefs. So don't love that. Chiefs have also been dominant at home. They're 10-1 straight up last 11 home games. So those are the kind of things that kind of keep me off of the side and lead me towards the total. I'm glad you mentioned Kelce too, because I wanted to bring up matchup wise. So the Chiefs versus number 1 wide receiver. So we're talking about Diggs. I see a lot of Diggs tickets out there. They're 28th in defensive DVOA against number 1 wide receivers. I think that's huge. And on the other side, the Bills are number 2 in defensive DVOA this year against tight ends, right? So I think that's going to be huge in this game for obvious reasons. Kelce just went off. He's going to garner almost all the attention. I don't think anybody else on that team is going to give you consistent productivity in terms of offense. So I think they got the guys to match up with Kelce. Not mad at the tickets, right? If you want a long shot, but I think he struggles in this one. I was looking at an under prop. I know that's tough. I think his under yardage was like 77.5. I do kind of like that under. I like targeting more guys like MVS, guys like that. So, yeah, you make great points, and some of those, kept me off the Chiefs side, the Bill side overall. So, great points. Going to be a great game.
Yeah, and like Stephon Diggs, he's struggling in this matchup. Like he ain't really been the guy in this matchup for real. So, Gabe Davis against this type of scheme, man. This is what he does his best work. Like we run a lot of cover 4 when we call the dogs off, and that's when he goes nuclear. That's when he has nuclear
bullshit too.
What's that?
They be running some quarters bullshit that be pissing me off too.
Yeah, they do.
It is what it is. Like,
Can't tell you how to play defense, man.
Like no reason for Devontae to get that touchdown deep last week, but what the fuck? It happened.
No, they kept giving him
no reason.
Leverage.
None.
They kept giving him inside leverage. That's when he does his best work. You give him
It
inside
didn't make any fucking sense.
You're done.
Made no sense. Listen, for me personally, Mahomes as a dog. So all you guys say to me, I gotta take the points at the crib. I know the revenge factor is there. Both teams are very different from last year. We got 2 of the 3 best quarterbacks on the planet right now playing today. I mean, y'all can say, I can hate on Josh Allen until the cows come home. The performance this year has been elite. I can't argue that. I can't say anything. Outside of the Miami game, obviously you get inside the 5 3 times, you're expecting some touchdowns. They didn't get them. They lost the game. But I think that this is just an opportunity to watch 2 of the best doing it. They're both very young. They're entering their athletic prime. I don't even think they're in their athletic prime yet. But yeah, I just think that we get an opportunity to see 2 elite quarterbacks. I think it's a shootout. I know it's hard. I know it's a hard sell on the under. If it's nothing wrong with that contrarian look, but it's just so much, just so much offense and just the 2 players that are the focal points today. It's the quarterback, man. I can't envision anything else but an old school shootout. That's all I keep seeing. That's all I can see. So that'd be it for me. I think I like the point about the Kelsey under. I think that you're going to have to implore to try and take away the best piece. Kansas City does that every time they play against Diggs. Love the Gabe Davis looks from both of you. And I think that you guys hit just about everything. I'm just rambling now.
Yeah. I'm just going to give just a few DFS items here from this game, because this game is going to be extremely popular for DFS, rightfully so. I think for cash game or for tournament, even though it's chalky, there's really just no reason not to play Josh Allen here. He's averaging 32 DFS points per game on DraftKings, and that's despite the fact that the Bills have kicked the shit out of 2 of their opponents, and he's been pulled in 2 of the 5 games early. So this is going to be a close game, so he'll play the whole game. Chiefs rank 19th in passing DVOA and 29th in adjusted fantasy points allowed to QBs. So I think that there's a bunch of other QBs that are good from a point per dollar, but nobody else has the ceiling that Allen does. He's expensive. However, there's a whole bunch of other value spots that you can look at where you can easily fit him in. If you are going to play Josh Allen in DFS, which I personally am, but the one to stack him with here, I don't think that it's Diggs. The reason why is because Diggs is projected to be 20% owned. Davis is projected to be 7% owned. Davis is about a third cheaper. That's an easy pivot there, because then it allows you to fit more talent elsewhere in your lineup, and you're not completely tied to those 2 guys. So there's really just no reason not to play Josh Allen in DFS. The only question, like I said, is who you stack it with and then who you run it back on the other side. There are lineups that I've seen made that I think you can make where you stack Josh Allen and Gabe Davis and then you run it back with Kelsey. That has elite upside from a lineup perspective.
Yeah, that's the lineup I did this morning spin. Like Gabe Davis, he gonna win somebody $1 million today, man.
Yep.
As much as I hate saying it.
Yeah, Allen, Gabe Davis, Kelsey, and there's a number of cheap running backs that you can get value on out there. That lineup has GPP winning upside for sure.
Yes, sir. I don't have anything else. I think we kind of rolled through the show pretty quickly. I think everyone still has some bets to put in, probably some fantasy lineups. I just said a couple. But yeah, I don't have anything else. Chuck, Finesse, appreciate you both. Make sure you guys are checking out Finesse the Books, C-Pen for the Win on Twitter. That's where you can catch them. And yeah, another week, another super informative show, whether it be from the DFS standpoint to the fantasy football. I pray that people have gained what they came here for. And is there anything else y'all want to leave us with?
No, I mean, I gave DFS picks throughout the show. I mentioned it before. The other DFS play that I think that you can easily slot in there, especially for cash games, would be Ramondre Stevenson. The touch volume that he's going to see, regardless if Damian Harris is active, is going to be elite. So I think you can fit him in very easily. And pretty much all, a lot of the guys that I talked about already, I think can be fit into a number of DFS lineups.
Yep. Finesse. Chuck.
And before we go, man, if we do win this game today, I'm not looking forward to being back on here next week because I already know how it's gonna be next week.
Huh? So. Bro, listen, thank you for joining in on Sunday Morning Quarterbacks Week 6 Best Bets.
One last thing before we wrap it up. I gotta get my one play out there of the day. It wasn't the games that we highlighted. Packers -7.5, -110 on their A-Rod and LaFleur after a loss at home. 10-0 ATS. Leave it that way. Give us the like, follow,
is that good?
retweet, sub. We out until next week. You already know. Next Sunday, same time.